All right, so who saw this one coming? Wisconsin defeats Michigan State in East Lansing 30-6. The Badgers did it this way with a first-time starting quarterback. Bart Houston led the victory against LSU in the opener, and he was on the bench for the entire game. Alex Hornibrook, first-time start at Michigan State against a defense that is considered top 10 or 15 in the nation, pulls through in this one. 16 of 26 for 195 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Forget the stats. They're not glossy. They're not overwhelming. He did his job. The decision-making was superb. The throws were accurate. The reads were well done. He made throws in critical situations, 3rd and long, 3rd and 11 on a touchdown drive. He dropped it in on a dime a number of times. The longer the game went on, the more impressive Hornibrook was against this Michigan State defense. He also showed mobility. They ran a number of bootlegs and rollouts to get him outside the pocket and the Michigan State pass rush, and he was able to deliver on the run and show that part of his passing skills as well. Paul Chryst doing an excellent job once again in calling plays for an inexperienced offense and quarterback in particular. Jazz Peavy turned out to be Hornibrook's favorite wide receiver on this day with catches totaling just about 100 yards. And this in place of Wisconsin not being able to run the ball necessarily with their best back against Michigan State's defense. Corey Clement, 23 rushes, 54 yards. So Hornibrook needed to make plays, and he did in the passing game. And this despite not having a legitimate field goal kicker. So Andrew Endicott pressed into action because Gaglione was injured, the Wisconsin field goal kicker who won the game against LSU at Lambeau. Endicott's a senior, and he's been around the program, and he's a kickoff specialist. So he's on the field, but usually just kicking off, and no pressure on him, typically. But in this game, he needed to deliver, and he was called upon. So Wisconsin shy about kicking on 4th down early in the game, went for those situations, and converted. Paul Chryst probably looking down the road. Don't know the injury status down the road concerning Gaglione. So Endicott may be needed later. So Chris called upon him for a 41-yarder, and the kid converted. And that was after missing an extra point earlier. So he hits the 41-yarder, gains some confidence. Good story there. Hasn't kicked field goals or extra points since high school. And how about the Wisconsin defense? Of course, the point total says it all. Limit Michigan State to 6 points. They had the interception, which was key. They only led 7-3 at the time. Sojourn Shelton made the break on the out route, picked off a pass. That led to a touchdown to make it 13-3 as he returned the ball to the Michigan State 28. There was a crunching tackle by Dakota Dixon and Jack Sheehy on L.J. Scott that pried the ball loose. And then Leo Musso made a remarkable run, a couple spin moves, fought off some guys with some stiff arms, ran it all the way for a touchdown. This is a kid who in high school ran for 87 touchdowns. So now that he plays defense for Wisconsin, got his hands on the football and showed the old high school skills. And Wisconsin led it at 20-6. They march on to the win easily, 30-6. And Michigan State did not look like the team that went to South Bend for the first 3 quarters and dominated Notre Dame. So upcoming for Wisconsin, a team that, let's remind everyone, was lightly regarded, unranked in the preseason. They now own the 2 most impressive victories of any team in college football right now. LSU and Michigan State on the road, and they win the second one 30-6. Now they got to do it again. They go to the Big House, Ann Arbor, Wisconsin at Michigan next week, part of this Badgers' brutal schedule. Michigan State tries to get off the rails and defeat Indiana in Bloomington next week. Would love to hear your thoughts about the Badgers and the Spartans right here on Mark Rogers TV.